Hey everybody, welcome back to part 4 of answering questions the youth have asked. First question, is it bad to ask non-Christian friends to church a lot? Absolutely not. I mean, the Great Commission tells us right off the bat, go into all the world and preach the gospel. We're supposed to go and tell everybody we can about Jesus, any opportunity we have. Now, if you're going to the same person and they're telling you no every single time, that may be casting pearls before swine, but it may also be like what I talked about in a previous episode. People are like islands. Sometimes you just got to circle that island to find a place that you actually can land. Maybe it's not the right time, maybe it's not the right conversation, but there will be an opportunity. And the other thing to remember is it's not on you to get them saved or to get them to church. You may be a planter, you may be a waterer, but either way, God is going to get the increase, and it's not up to you to bring it in. Why is Wednesday church only an hour? That one's pretty easy. It's just because, it's a school night. How long did the Bible take to write? I actually had to look this one up. Turns out the Bible was written over the period of about 1600 years. Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, and that was about 1500-ish years ago. And John wrote the last book of the Bible, which ended up being somewhere around like 96-ish AD. Now this one took a bit of thinking because it says, how old was Jesus when he died the second time? I think the confusion here is that because we know Jesus died and was resurrected, but now he's no longer around, people think he died a second time, maybe. And that's not true. Jesus only died the one time and he was resurrected, but he didn't die again. When he left the earth, he literally left preaching on a cloud and ascended into heaven. It actually says that he's going to come back again someday. How to deal with opposition from other Christians? This is kind of a hard question, not going to lie. As Christians, the Bible tells us to avoid strife at all costs, because wherever strife is, the devil is. And so I think we're missing the point. It's not so much about dealing with the opposition as it is cementing yourself in what you know to be true. And it's easy for Christians to get caught up in doctrinal differences or things that they believe a little bit differently than the other. But if we're so busy fighting with ourselves about little things like how we pray or how we worship or how we minister to people around us, then we're missing the larger plot point, which is how do we get Jesus to these other people? Because the bottom line is Jesus said to bring the gospel. Because at the end of the day, Jesus is the only way to heaven. And in Romans 10:9 it says, if you confess him with your mouth and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. It's that simple. And if you guys can agree on that much, just leave it there. If that's all you can agree on, just leave it there. And if you want to have a civil, friendly conversation with someone, fine, by all means, go ahead. But keep strife out of it. Remember, the conversation is meant to be had in love. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. And if they don't want to receive it, that's all you can do. Some plant, some water, but God gets the increase. And if all you do is plant a seed of truth or water one that's already been there, you've done your job. It is not your job to change someone's mind. It is only your job to present truth. So the short answer is, sure, have those conversations, but don't let it get ugly. Because if you don't, you will have just ruined your witness for that person and anyone else watching you have this conversation. Well, that's it for this time. Guess I'll see you guys in the next video.